Awareness, Health and Environmental Alternatives, starring internationally acclaimed investigative reporter, compelled to help change people's lives. Two-time winner Crystal Awards, the man who tells it like it is, Basil Gold.
Thanks for joining us. Today you will see and hear exactly what your body needs to stay young and healthy without acquiring degenerative and chronic diseases. And now you can take immediate charge of your own future state of well-being right now. Listen and watch carefully. This is a one-time shot. We are going to perform live laboratory tests for you to witness and be informed. You know I have featured renowned doctors, scientists, authors, and astronauts, but none as famous and contributing to our world as today's guest, who at the age of 11 developed a guided missile and atomic bomb detecting device, receiving recognition and requests from the Pentagon to share his incredible technology with them for large-scale development. A man who reads 14,500 words a minute with a retention of 95%. Such a man is our guest, who in recent times is once again renowned and Nobel Prize nominee for his incredible discoveries in life's force, water. Dr. Patrick Flanagan.
Well, thank you, Basil. It's good to be here. I've heard so much about you and your show Awareness, and I understand you've been recognized by the White House. You know, I normally don't do television, but you've got such a good reputation that I wanted to come on your show to show my new discoveries because of your awareness and your scientific knowledge.
Well, wonderful. I believe the public needs to see things to believe. So what happens here, folks, is Dr. Flanagan is world-renowned for water. He's going to show us how he changes the molecular structure of water and brings it back into what it used to be, medicinal water as opposed to denatured water, right?
That's right, Basil. And we're going to do two things. First, while we're doing the water measurements, we want to take some blood from a volunteer member of the audience. And I understand you have one.
So we're going to do the water and the blood
simultaneously. And while he walks up here, we'll talk about the water and.
Okay. Well, let's get Mr. Bobby Morris. Would you come up, Mr. Bobby Morris, world famous theatrical agent and musical composer and director and conductor. And we're going to take your blood from you.
Right. And while Ken takes blood from Mr. Morris, what we're going to do is we're going to look over here and
we're going to introduce Dr. Dennis Higgins over here. Is 18 years of experience and research in water. So you're going to run the tests for us.
Yes, thank you.
And then, of course, Dennis is a certified live blood cell analyst. So let's get the two things going at the same time, if we will. So we're getting Bobby Morris's blood.
We're pricking his finger, and we're going to take some fresh blood and look it under the microscope.
And then Dr. Higgins is going to do, what's he going to do?
Well, Dr. Higgins is going to show us dead water, dead oxidized water, which
from the bottled water.
Bottled water, what everyone drinks normally. And we have a device called a redox pH meter and a surface tensiometer. So we're going to measure the redox and the pH of the water first. Go ahead, Dr. Higgins.
The pH is 5.18. The ORP of this water is 316 millivolts.
Okay. What this means is that the water is highly oxidized, has a high surface tension. This is dead water. Also, we're going to measure surface tension, which is an indication of the wetness of water.
The thinness, yes, exactly, right. Which allows better osmotic flow. I mean, folks, you're taking vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, proteins, amino fatty acids, and the various things, and you think you're doing your body good. But the water you take it with is what counts to give you an osmotic flow, assimilation, absorption into the body.
Exactly. The wetter water is, the lower the surface tension, the wetter it is. Now, he's going to measure ordinary water now with the surface tensiometer. This actually measures the wetness of water. This is
right, what we see.
And we're seeing a little ring made out of platinum being lifted from the surface by a scale, and it's going to measure the force it takes. There.
At that point, it came out.
Right, and so now we should be able to measure. What is that, Dr. Higgins?
This is 74 dyne.
Okay, now we're going to add silica hydride, which is something I invented, to the water. And what it's going to do is add electrons and hydrogen to the water and change it from dead, oxidized water to living water, water that's loaded with free electrons. And we're going to see a dramatic change in the properties of the water. We're first going to measure the redox potential and the pH again. And what do we have, Dennis?
The pH is 9.95 and climbing very fast.
Okay.
So that's a drastic change.
Drastic change.
It's just going, it just went to 10.
Next.
Okay.
ORP is minus 500 and right now 500 and...
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
500.
okay, about 500. What this means is that we have a negative potential, which means that it's loaded with electrons. It's slightly alkaline, which means that it will neutralize acid waste in the body. And now what we're going to do is measure the surface tension of this water to see if it's wetter, if it'll increase the absorption of nutrients if you were to drink this water. And so now we're going to lower this little platinum
And
ring.
we're also going to see Mr. Morris's blood change
Right.
from as he's taken this water with this silica in it, right?
Right. What we're going to do first, okay, what is the surface tension of the water now?
Right there.
44.
44. Okay, so what this means is that instead of absorbing just a third of the nutrients, if you were to drink this water with food or vitamins, you'd absorb virtually 100% of the nutrients. And now we have Bobby's blood on the microscope, and we're going to take a look at it on the monitor and see what his blood looks like. And his blood, we've been waiting a few minutes, but basically his blood cells are all clumped together. We have a white blood cell that's basically inactive. It's not doing anything. And this is what most people's blood looks like, and it's not really a pretty picture at the moment because blood cells should be free and
all nice and round,
all nice
floating
and
around.
Right. And the white blood cells should be actively cleaning up the blood and so forth. So, so what we're going to do is have Bobby drink some of this water and see what his blood looks like after a few minutes.
And Mr.
So,
Morris
Bobby,
will come back in.
okay. And if you would kindly take that and drink, take.
Right,
the
so now
silicon
he has
hydrate.
taken hydrogen, silica. The electrons in this are
Right.
actually becoming freely available to the body, additional electrons,
Right,
right?
they're going to spread throughout all the water in his body, get into the blood. It's going to dramatically change his blood within a few minutes. Now,
And we will not see this
we won't see this anymore. We'll
aggregation,
see-
and I saw the first shot, it was all tight,
Right.
lots of it.
Right.
And we're going to see this whole separation.
Exactly. We're going to see a complete change in his blood, hopefully. And what this means, this is very dramatic because normally this takes weeks of dieting to do this. To do it in a few minutes is really a miracle. And hopefully today we will see a miracle in his blood.
That's why I said the water that the Hunsers have up there, and they live to over 100 years, the milk of the mountain, this is miracle water. This is what we used to have.
Exactly. Before we denatured water, before pollution and free radicals and all the things.
And bottling and the
Exactly.
filtration media, the methods that they use. And people think that if they filter the water, they got good water. You have flat water. It has no content, no bioavailability to the body. It doesn't
That's
even
right.
flush you out correctly.
That's right. And you know, Basil, the body's 70% water.
Correct.
So the water we drink is the most important nutrient we take into our bodies.
I wish people would understand that water, that age-old story of 8 glasses a day is so important. That apple a day, which we laughed at, is so important. If they would only eat more greens and drink water, that has got nutrient value. So now we have 3 or 4 minutes left here. We have shown the change in the water, drastic changes. Whether you understood it or not, it's drastic changes. Trust me, I'm the water expert here, along with Dr. Higgins and of course Dr. Flanagan. Now we're going to show Mr. Morris has had the water.
Right.
So now it takes a little while for him he's jumping up and down, getting his blood going, and then we're going to take his blood again.
Yes.
And hopefully see a total
Right,
change.
and hopefully we'll see a dramatic change in the blood
It's
picture.
like clustering more molecules to the water.
That's correct.
Like microclustering.
That's
them.
correct. In fact, you know, the red blood cells have to be free because they carry nutrients into the body and oxygen and toxins out of the body. And if they're all clumped together and the electrical charge is lost, then basically our bodies become clogged with toxins and can't eliminate, and we become actually toxic.
So we need more hydrogen.
Exactly. We need more hydrogen.
So then we've got like microhydron water is what we're making here. We hydronate.
Exactly.
Hydronating?
We're giving hydrogen to the water, negative ionized.
In microscopic amounts,
Right.
atoms are what the smallest thing on Earth. The atom is the smallest.
Exactly.
The
A hydrogen atom is the smallest element. And because of that, it can penetrate through every cell in the body to the blood-brain barrier, everywhere in the body.
Right through the
enliven.
blood-brain barrier. You know,
Exactly.
very quickly, in 1993, the AMA said if we could find something that could cross the blood-brain barrier, we could cure Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, MS, Lou Gehrig's diseases. Now, this crosses the blood-brain barrier.
Exactly.
Hope you all heard that, folks. All right, let's get into the next one. We only have 2 minutes left here.
Okay.
So we're going to show Mr. Morris's blood
So
again.
If Bobby would, Mr. Morris would come back again.
I'm looking forward to seeing this incredible change here.
Let's see if we got a change.
Watch this carefully, folks.
Okay, we're going to take another drop of blood, and hopefully we'll see a dramatic change. And we've
In
seen
such a
this
short time, yeah.
Exactly. We've seen this so many times. As you know, since this is this one time only that you mentioned in the
Right.
beginning.
Is a one-time only. So, and I hope folks understand here, Dr. Flanagan, that as you said, it takes weeks to get back into homeostasis when you're out of it. So to make this drastic change here in 10, 15 minutes, it's going to even amaze me.
Well, I sure hope it does. And we've seen quite a few amazing things in the laboratory in our research, and we're getting ready to see, hopefully, a most amazing change in his blood chemistry.
All right, we have very little time left
Right.
here, so Dr. Flanagan, there's a message to give to the public. What is the message regarding water that you could give to the public right now while he's setting that up?
Well, water is our most ignored nutrient. It's the one that we take for granted because water's everywhere. And yet, you know, at one time it was predicted that water would be would cost more than gasoline. And now, of course, bottled water does cost more than gasoline.
Well, exactly. Now, let's have a look at what we got here.
Okay, well, what we've got is that we've already seen, we now have a lot of free red blood cells.
All running around. There goes one.
Right. See, the charge is changing.
And all the junk that was in between
all the
seems
junk
to have
is
gone.
And we've got a...
Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
Right,
Look
they're
at
beginning
that
to break up. They're beginning to gain electron charge and loosen up. And so we see activity. We see a little fat from his last meal in here.
Yes.
Little bitty dots.
Here's another one.
And
we have a wrap here, folks. You've seen it all. You've seen the changes. Dr. Flanagan, we have to, every show comes to an end.
Yes.
So we have a second half to the show. Stay tuned for that and more amazing things. We have seen the incredible changes. I have heard about it for many years, and that's why I sought you out.
Thank
you,
you, Basil.
so much
Good
for
to be
coming
here.
in
Thank
today
you.
and showing us these dramatic changes. And to Ken and to Dr. Higgins, just thank you very much.